Welcome to Legal Matters, and thank you for joining me. Today, we are going to be talking about children law, and the type of orders that can be made by the family court. We'll be looking at that today. We will also be looking at naturalization. Naturalization. If you want to become British, what are the rules, and especially the concept of good character. The concept of good character. We'll be looking at that as well. And the last area that we will also look at will be whether there is a need to apply for EU settlement scheme visa card, known as biometric residency permit card. You'll be looking at that as well, whether there is a need to make such an application. If you have just joined us, do the best that you can and share the program with your loved ones. I believe that they will benefit from today's program because mainly it concerns children, and especially when it comes to breakdown of relationship and the types of applications that can be submitted to the family court for an order to ensure that both parents play a vital role in their children's lives. So we'll be looking at that. I also said that we'll be looking at updates on immigration and nationality law, and we will also be looking at naturalization, and especially the concept of character. As we all know, since for the past 2.5 years or so, a lot of applications has been refused on the basis that the individual in question, individual applicants, do not meet the character test. So when we say character test, what do we mean by character test? And we'll be exploring that today. So do the best that you can as soon as you in. Share the program for us so that people can also benefit from today's program, because especially when it comes to naturalization, a lot of people are losing money because they simply did not know about the character test. And as I speak to you, even yesterday, someone came to me, and fortunate enough for the person brought that issue up. His lawyer was not even aware of this, and I had to talk the person through the requirement and the Home Office policy, especially the character test. So I will do the best that I can and explain as much as I can. Hopefully, we will get the message out so that people do not lose out in terms of the application fee. And as we know, once you do the application and it is refused, That's it. You don't get the money back. Once it's gone, it is gone. You lose your money at the moment. The Home Office charges about £1,330 to process an application. If you are not fortunate enough and the application gets rejected, you lose your money. You don't get a refund. You don't get your money back. So it's important that we do that we are aware of this, because at the end of the day, if you take the right advice or you are equipped with the knowledge, the chances of making wrong moves also reduces significantly. And therefore, I felt that it is important that we talk about this today, with the hope that it will save some people, if not everyone. It will save them some money, and also the stress of making an application which is going to be refused. It's very, very difficult to come by money, and therefore we have to be careful with our money and also spend our money wisely. So today I will take my time and go through the naturalization, especially Section 6.1 and Section 6.2 of the British Nationality Act of 1981. If you want to become British, what the law says and what you ought to do in order to be able to qualify to become a British citizen. We will also be looking at European nationals living in the UK. Some of them would like to also apply for British citizenship, especially in the light of Brexit. The question, therefore, is whether they will qualify or not. Is also another thing that we'll be looking at today. And we'll then move on to, if you like, we'll then move on to whether it is necessary, whether it is absolutely necessary for people holding permanent residency card or residency card, whether it is necessary for them to apply for EUSS card. When I say EUSS card, I mean European Union Settlement Scheme Visa card, whether it is necessary for them to apply. I will be advising you on that. So keep tuning in. If you have just joined us, I will also encourage you, do the best that you can and share the program. Let's use the next 5 minutes to share the program. Let's, take the program to people, because at the end of the day, if it's going to benefit them, let's encourage them. How do we encourage people to listen to the program? By sharing, putting it on your WhatsApp, Facebook pages, and other social media. As I speak to you, as I'm speaking, I am sharing the program, and I am continuing sharing the program so that other people can also benefit from it. So you can also do the same by helping me to share the program within the next 5 or so minutes, so that when we start the program, people will get the benefit of the program, rather than halfway through and then program is shared, people tune in and they don't know where we are. So if you are watching me, do the best that you can for us and share the program for us. Today too, courtesy of Paradise City, we have a blood pressure machine that will be given out as well, because as we know, blood pressure is also known as silent killer. It kills a lot of people in this country. We talked about this some time ago. Paradise City, they were touched, they were moved by what we were talking about, and as a result, they have bought 3 blood pressure machines that they want us to give out to our listeners. Last week, Mary Boatma won one of them, which has been sent to her. Today is also opportunity for another person to also win the blood pressure machine. This machine is very, very, very simple to use. And in fact, I use one myself, as I demonstrated to you. And through the help of our dear sister Abasaki, she was able to call in and show me how it is used. I did not realize I was doing it the wrong way. And as I was doing it, I was also talking. She said that it is a no thing to do when you are measuring your blood pressure. Like I say, we all learn from others. You know, like someone will say, a wise man learns from others. So it's important that we learn from others. If it's not your field, don't even try it. It wasn't my field. I was trying it, but I was trying it wrong. Thank God that she came to the rescue to point it out that I was doing it the wrong way. And I believe that through that, a lot of people also got education from it. Because by watching the way she was telling me how to place it, and in fact, I demonstrated it. And when I did it, I got an accurate reading. But when I was talking, I could see that the blood pressure reading had gone up. Not realizing that when you are talking, for whatever reason, it does affect the reading. So I thank you for that. And this is something that I think it will stay in my mind for the rest of my life. And through that education, I will also be able to pass that on to my children and also people that I come across. So it is very, very important that we all learn. Blood pressure is a silent killer. A lot of Ghanaians, have died in this country because of blood pressure. And many a times, our magical explanation is that it's due to witchcraft. Because you see a fit young man, all of a sudden, the person passed on. And we try to look for explanation as to why this happens. And unfortunately, many a times, people believe in spirits, people believe in something that cannot be proven, and therefore they tend to they tend to blame it on something else rather than looking for scientific reason as to why certain phenomenon happens. But then again, everyone has got their own beliefs, and therefore, for me, I think it's important that we look at science, especially when someone passes on. It's important that we find out what killed the person. And if the person relates to you, then you ask yourself, hold on, if this person relates to me, and therefore I could also go down the same way. And therefore, what do? You take measures. Like I said, one of my uncles passed on. Science told us that he died from blood pressure. And believe in me, because of his death, I went and bought blood pressure machine. I knew that I had to get one. But many a times I was joking that I wasn't getting it. It took a tragedy for me to learn a lesson. And today, I am pleased to say that I've got one, that I've been checking my blood pressure every single day. I am trying to, and I'm keeping records. And so far, God being so good, it's in the normal range. And therefore, I'm grateful for that. It's better you know than not knowing. Because if you know, you can do something about it. If you don't know, there is nothing that you can do because you simply do not know. And this is where, before you realize, it may be too late. Blood pressure causes stroke. Blood pressure causes hypertension. In some cases, it has led to brain damage. All that it costs is just about £30 to get one of these machines. You get it, you checked. And when you are getting to, a place that you don't like, you seek medical attention straight away so that, they can help you. Because they will be able to tell you maybe your diet is contributing to this. Maybe you need to exercise so that you find a solution to some of these problems. Please, let's all take this serious. Let's all campaign. Let's make noise about it. So that especially Ghanaians, foreigners in the diaspora, we can take our health serious and do something about it. Because many a times when it happens to someone, we tend to think that it will not happen to us. So if it can happen to someone, realize that it can also happen to you. And therefore, the only way to ensure that it doesn't happen to us is to take the initiative, do the checks. And once we know the readings, then we can do something about it. One thing that I like about this machine here is very, very simple. And I'm going to show it to you once again. And I hope and believe that you can see it from the screen, especially this side. As you can see, you see red, you see amber, you see yellow, and you see green. When you do the blood pressure, when you put the machine there and you sort of press the start button, as you can see here, it's very, very simple machine to use. It's a start button here. Once you press it, the stuff here is already here. You put it there, you press the machine, and it will just squeeze your arm and then read it. Once it read it, the arrow will tell you whether you are in the green. If you are in the green, it is safe. If you are in the yellow, that means you ought to be you have to be a bit careful. If you go in amber, then it's getting serious. Once you go red, that is very, very serious. So as soon as you hit yellow, don't even wait for amber to come. You need to be running to your GPs because you have gone above the normal range. And therefore, it is very, very important that we take the initiative, go to see our GPs. If they give you medication, please do the best that you can and listen and take the medication. As I speak to you, I know someone who is in a coma as a result of blood pressure. I know someone who have died as a result of blood pressure. We all have blood pressure, but once it goes above the normal range, that is where it gets serious. Courtesy of Paradise City, we do appreciate you and thank you very much for your support to our community and also to our listeners on Fire Life Radio and Justice and Law Solicitors, David Darko, Facebook page. You have given us this to give out to one of our listeners today. So next week, another one will also come. So we thank you very much and we appreciate what you are also doing to help the community. That's all that we all have to do. Let's educate one another. Let's, save lives, because at the moment, we are also saving lives through the campaign that is going on Fire Life Radio and also on Facebook. So we do appreciate you all. If you have tuned in, by all means, share the program with all your loved ones so that they can benefit. If you are in a group, a WhatsApp group, since we are doing the program only on Facebook, please, cut and paste the link on any WhatsApp group that you are in. Yesterday, I received this marvelous lady through Mogpa platform. I don't know who put it there, but I do thank you. Someone came to see me that someone put the link on Mogpa platform, and through that, she also followed me on Facebook, and through what we have been, telling people and the advice that we have been giving people through Facebook, she also took the initiative to come to Justice and Law Solicitors yesterday, and through that, she has become, a blessed to you and also to the Mogpa group. So if you are watching us and you are going, you go through, you have a church WhatsApp group and so on and so forth, just by sharing, you'll be saving someone, a church member, about £1,330, which the person would have paid to the Home Office, and that would have also resulted in the refusal of an application. So it is for this reason that we all have to do the best that we can and share the program so that we can get far, so that people will listen to the voice of reason, so that people will also educate themselves before they go and repeat the same mistakes that others have made by submitting application in which they do not qualify. And as a result,
they have lost their monies. And Home Office, once they refuse it, unfortunate, you don't get your money back. So that is how it is. People have come to us after the applications have been rejected to see whether there is something that we could do about it. Unfortunately, naturalization as it is an application that is given on the basis of royal prerogative. It's not by right. So you cannot say, by right, I qualify to become British. Even if you qualify, application can still be refused. So brothers and sisters, moms and dads, our children and grandchildren, our nephews, naturalization, it is not by right, it's by privilege. So therefore, before you take the initiative to make the application, you need to make sure that you can tick all the right boxes. For that reason, today, I will take my time and go through the requirements and see whether you qualify or not, whether you need to make the application or not. Then you need to advise yourself so that you do the right application at the right time, so that you succeed in your applications. Now, let's go straight to the topics today. The first thing that I think I'm gonna be talking about is going to be where do we start? Okay, first thing that I'm going to be talking about, perhaps let me talk about, is there a need to apply for EU settlement scheme visa prior to 31st of December 2020? I know and I believe that perhaps you may have heard this, but it is also important that we keep telling people so that they get used to the idea that it's important that they take the initiative and do the application that I'm going to be talking about. According to Home Office guidelines as at yesterday's date, which is 21st of August 2020, what the Home Office is telling us is that we are coming out of the European Union by 31st of December 2020. After we have come out of the European Union, anyone who is holding a biometric residency permit card, which has been issued under European regulation, anyone who is holding European residency card by way of a vignette, like a stamp in his passport, these will no longer be valid in the UK. This is what the Home Office is saying. If you are holding residency card, permanent residency card, or residency card or permanent residency card in a stamp format that is in your passport, what the Home Office is saying is that from 1st of January 2021, those visas will no longer be applicable or will no longer be valid in the United Kingdom. The Home Office advice is that those people holding those types of passport must apply to the Home Office for what we call EUSS visa card, which is European Union Settlement Scheme visa card. So your visa card that you are holding, your residency card that you are holding, if it's not issued under the EUSS, then you ought to vary it. Then you have to change it to EUSS visa card or settlement scheme card. Because from 1st of January 2021, those type of old visas are being phased off. And therefore, Home Office is encouraging everyone to do the transition, to make the transition, change that visa into EU Settlement Scheme visa. The danger about not changing it is as follows. Home Office have made it very clear. If you are holding residency card, which has been issued under European law, if you are holding permanent residency card, which has been issued under the old law, under the European law, if you are not fortunate enough and you are in Ghana or outside the UK, come 1st of January 2021, you cannot use that visa to enter the UK. And therefore, there is the need to make an application for EU Settlement Scheme visa before 31st of December if you know that you are going to be traveling outside the UK. Because if you don't, you're going to have some difficulties. What the Home Office says is this: if you are outside the UK and you do not have settlement scheme visa, you will have to make an application for one before you can travel back to the UK. I know I have a lot of clients who may have acquired their residency card or permanent residency cards before the withdrawal agreement. And some may have even acquired it after the withdrawal agreement. However, they have not made an application for the settlement scheme. If you have, that is fine. If you haven't, I will encourage you to do the application now, because you simply never know when an emergency will come that you may have to pick up your passport and rush outside the United Kingdom. Because if you do not do it and you rush outside the United Kingdom, you may have difficulties in coming back if you have not applied for the settlement scheme. One thing that I will also say is this, because it's a bit trivial, because I don't know what the Home Office is saying, because it's not very clear what they are telling us. What about those who have applied for the settlement scheme? They have only been issued with a letter that states that they've been granted pre-settlement scheme or settlement scheme, but yet the Home Office did not, or the Home Office have not issued them a card. As we all know, currently, the Home Office policy is that if you already have a card and you make an application, since you have a card, they will not issue a new card. But at the same time, they are also telling us that if you travel outside the UK and you are coming back from 1st of January and you do not have a card which says that you have been issued with EUSS card, you will have some difficulties coming in. So on one hand, you are telling me that I have a card is valid, I can use the card. On the other hand, you are telling me, since you are out of the European Union from 1st of January 2020, if I'm not holding a card, I will have difficulties in coming in. It's catch-22. And therefore, people are very, very confused. So in this case, if you are within these parameters, you have applied for it, they haven't given you a new card under EUSS, i.e. European Union Settlement Scheme visa, by way of a biometric residency permit card, on the basis that you've already got a card under the old scheme. At the same time, you are telling these individuals that if they don't have a card which has been issued under EUSS scheme, they will have difficulties in coming back to the UK upon an event that they travel outside the country. It's a catch-22 situation obeka se akwese konkomafo isekan no echire twa animu twa wo ya application na yesi ye ma card no because o card no under the old scheme yati ase na afi mu amusa se ukita sa card na ye de ewo no under the old scheme enu ntina mama me card under the new scheme na yesi upie na say o babaka after 1st of January you will have some difficulties because you don't have a card under the new scheme. Before this week, it was understanding that the old card na enkrofo wono say de bana so mkita letter na they will be okay. But yenhwehwe mu na ya no se kire say ubehia immigration officer bi a onte asemase a obema hard time at the airport. And this raises the question and say who follow within this category a dear na e was away. Home Office almost as I issue another method and also answer this question. Now method in HSA say no esa will apply for replacement biometric residency permit card and the EU settlement scheme. It's yenuano moi monya indefinite nimpa muni card no me dem be free say it will make sense to go and apply for biometric replacement, biometric residency card. And to get in touch with your lawyers today, tomorrow, book appointment, go and see them and make that application so that your permanent residency scheme will go on your new card that they will issue. And to Yenyanom, Mr. Mopi, I know say every day, and you may change it. Yes, justice and law there, and you may changing in ano. Na ya ye de abrem se de mpanimfo kan ye no wo se obofo ene de ne nam egu apaso enye de ne nam ewo enwurem enti e be hyemu pi yentu anamon na yenye this application enka ho na yehu se asumdwie ayede abefie na mpanimfo ne kan ofrifie a oye ya da ko me metena ho e ma me client enkodi Ghana na obedu airport a ye detain no ensen ya be frame na gidi ene wakwa kamera wo ho ensen ye gya no sebio yese twede e ben wo na waje ne ntem na wanya ne ntem a anhwa na akofa problems aba legally. I will say ohwe the Vienna Convention relating to treaties under Article 70, it makes it very clear that any rights that individuals have obtained can never, no one can take it away from them when that treaty comes to an end. So it's going to be interesting what is going to happen, because even if you have acquired residency card or permanent residency card, at the moment UK government is telling you that there's a transitionary period, shift it to settlement scheme visa. This is what the UK government is advising us to do now. Even if you don't do it, what is going to happen? There is a fear that is going to create another Windrush generation scandal. But if you look at the Vienna Treaty on Conventions, the Vienna Convention on Treaties, Article 70, it specifically states that anyone who has acquired certain rights under a treaty, this treaty or this right has been acquired under the European Treaty, and therefore by application of the Vienna Convention, under no circumstances would I expect anyone to lose their right under the Vienna Convention. However, in order to avoid any problems, any headaches, and any legal entanglement, for me, I think it's important that we take the initiative and update ourselves, update our visas. If you have indefinite and it has been confirmed to you on paper by way of the settlement scheme, I will encourage you today that don't leave it there. Make sure that you also apply for biometric residency permit card, which has been issued under the settlement scheme. You get in touch with Justice and Law Solicitors of Unit 35B 49 Ephra Road, Brixton, London, SW21BZ. Our telephone number I will put on screen, which is 0207 993 5976. Or you can also call us on our mobile phone, which is 07538 969 589. you can also do what? You can also call us, and we will make a successful application for you. As I speak to you, I have actually started making this application for some of my clients. I will also do the best that I can and send a message out through the alert system that we have generated on Justice and Law Solicitors mobile phone, so that we can encourage our people to do the right thing by themselves and to do the right thing by their family members. Because at the end of the day, ignorant, if you don't know it, many a times you fall foul of the law. And do not wait for things to go wrong before you start seeking legal remedy. I have quoted Article 70 of the Vienna Convention on Treaties. If worse come to worse, you can rely on that treaty to fight for your right to remain in the UK on the basis that you have already acquired permanent residency, or you have already acquired residency card under old European law, which is being phased off. However, the question therefore is, would you or do you really want to go through this headache? I don't, you do. I don't think you do. So let's do the best that we can to avoid problems. Because if you avoid problems, you can then use your time effectively to do other stuff. So it's very, very important that we cover that as well. So that's what I can say in relation to the settlement scheme. I also say that, the settlement scheme is a scheme that has been ongoing for nearly 2 years now. So it would be odd for anyone to tell the Home Office to say that they did not know about it. Because if you say you do not know about it, they will simply not believe you. And if they don't believe you, the legal shenanigans that you may have to jump through in order to be able to get your stay in the UK is not going to be a joke. Now, let me use this opportunity to also go and talk about naturalization. This is an area or is something that I think is important that we talk about today. Why do we need to talk about this today? We need to talk about this today because a lot of people are losing their hard-earned cash on the basis that either they go to the wrong legal advisors, they put in application, which is, for me, is useless or bogus application because they lack knowledge. And as we all know, Bible tell us, lack of knowledge, my people will do what? My people will perish. And as a result, some people have perished and they have lost money. The applications has not been successful. So today, I think it's important that we talk about naturalization and the British Nationality Act of 1981, and especially Section 6.1 and 6.2 of the British Nationality Act. British Nationality Act, as we know, Maggie Thatcher, back in the 1970s, late 70s, early 80s, decided to change the British nationality law. Before 1983, 1st of January, any child born in the UK, the child was automatic British by birth. But there has been so many changes in immigration nationality law. Any child born after 1st of January 1983 is no longer a British citizen, and therefore the child can only acquire British citizenship through the mother or through the father. It will depend on the family setup and the mechanisms, which I'm not going to go through all of it today. However, if you want to become British, if you are not British by birth, then for the purposes of this speech, you do it by way of naturalization. And this goes for those people who are over the age of 18 and they want to become a British citizen. And as we know, a lot of people may get their indefinite or permanent residency card on the basis of either being a family member of European national or through marriage to European national or a British national, or maybe someone who has got indefinite leave to remain. Once you have obtained your indefinite leave to remain, naturally, the next thing is to apply for British citizenship and then British passport. I need to emphasize on this, and I need to explain this again. Before you can get British passport, after you have obtained your indefinite leave to remain or permanent residency card, you need to apply for British citizenship. And once you get a citizenship certificate, that will then entitle you to apply for British passport. Many a times, as soon as people get indefinite, they tend to ring us and say that I want to apply for British passport. From today, we need to realize that you cannot apply for British passport without first applying for British citizenship by way of naturalization. So we need to bear that in mind. Applying for British passport costs only about £100. Therefore, it's not that expensive. But to get there, you have to apply for British naturalization or British citizenship. And you do this through naturalization. How do we do this? You have to apply by completing an application form called Form AN. Form AN. Form AN means adult naturalization. Form AN means adult naturalization. And it is a form that you need to complete. Once you complete the form, then of course you need to include all the supporting evidence. You need to improve you need to include all the supporting evidence. Many a times people call us and they say, lawyer, what document can I use to support my application? The problem is this: your circumstances will determine what type of supporting evidence that you need to include to support your application. And therefore, sometimes it's very, very hard. It's very, very difficult for a lawyer, or for that matter, for anyone to be able to tell you point blank that you need to add this, you need to add that. It is simply not possible. Without assessing your case and knowing your circumstances, unfortunately, it is not possible for any lawyer or for anyone to be able to tell you specifically what evidence that you can use to support your application. So it is important, I would say, that when you are doing such an application, you seek professional help. You go and sit down with the lawyer. The lawyer will assess the case. The lawyer will ask the relevant questions. Based on that, the lawyer will then be able to tell you what evidence that you will need to support your application. Because if not, anything that the lawyer will be telling you will be a general sort of information, which sometimes could help, sometimes it could not help. And therefore, especially if you think of doing the application yourself and you call Lawyer Darko and you say, Lawyer Darko, I want the list. The list that I will give you will simply be a general list. Will be a general list. And that general list may not cover everything that needs to be covered in your application. However, if you come and see me, if you come and sit down with me, if you come and I go through your scenario and I do my assessment, I will then be able to tell you what type of documents will be needed in support of your application. Now, the most relevant section of the British Nationality Act in terms of naturalization is Section 6.1 and Section 6.2. Section 6.1 and Section 6.2. That is what you will be looking at. And let's look at Section 6.1, what the requirements are. And let's look at Section 6.2, what the requirements are. So today, I think I have said this. The important thing is we need to go through each step and explain it so that those people, unfortunately, who have not succeeded will know why the application was not successful. Now, let's look at Section 6.1 of the British Nationality Act, what the requirements are. The legal requirements that you ought to meet in order to be able to be successful in terms of British Nationality Act and British citizenship under Section 6.1 is as follows. The first requirement is that the applicant must be age 18 or over at the time of the application. So it is very simple. If you are doing the application, you need to ask yourself, are you 18 or over? If that is yes, then the first box is ticked. No problem. The second box is that are you of a sound mind? Is the person have the capacity to make the decision to become British? Does the person have the capacity? Is the person of a sound mind so that they can understand the steps that they are taking? So that is the next question that you need to ask yourself. The third point is that do you intend to continue to live in the UK or to continue in Crown services? So, for example, if you are doing naturalization and you want to become British, you cannot say that I want to become British and live in Ghana, because the British government will not get any benefit from you. And therefore, if you are going to do an application for naturalization, there is a question there that if your application is successful, which country do you intend to reside in? If you write Ghana, if you write Nigeria, if you write Barbados, if you write Jamaica, if you write Trinidad and Tobago, if you write America, that means you don't have any intention to live in the UK. And that is a ground for refusal. That is a legitimate grounds for the Secretary of State to refuse you. Because to become British, you must have intention to reside in the UK. Now let's go to the fourth point. You must be able to communicate in English or Welsh or Scottish Gaelic to an acceptable level. You must be able to communicate in English. How do you prove that you can communicate in English? You can do so by doing the English test, level B1, which is equivalent to GESE level 5. Once you pass and you have that certificate, no problem. The English test requirement, you can meet it. If you have a degree which was taught in English, if it is a foreign degree, if you did the degree in the UK, then no problem. You can use your degree if it's a foreign degree qualification and it was taught in English. Then the additional requirement is that you need to send it to NARIC for certificate of compellability, so that they can confirm that it is equivalent to UK degree, so that you can then get the exemption for the English test. The fifth requirement is that you must also be able to demonstrate that you have sufficient knowledge about life in the UK. So that means you must pass the life in the UK test. And this is a test which is a combination of geography, history, and politics in the UK. You have to buy the book, These days they have audio. If you go to Play Store or App Store and you put in Life in the UK Test Current Edition, you can buy it for about £5 or £6, and you need to, prepare yourself, book for the exams, pass the exams, and then you will then be able to meet that requirement. The next one is character test. The next one is character test. How do you meet the character test? The character test is a big thing. So what I will do, I will take my time and come back again to the character test, because it's something that I believe is worth exploring. It's something that we need to be looking at. Why do we need to be looking at that? Because so much is going on. A lot of people are getting rejected because of the character test. And therefore, I want to dedicate about 15-20 minutes just talking about the character test, so that people don't lose out on money, because people are really, really losing out. So before that, my daughter, in fact, will be 17 at exactly 12 today. And therefore, let me wish her a happy birthday. And I believe that all of you will join me in hand to wish my Shannon a happy 17th birthday. And I'm playing this song for her. We thank God for the gift of life, and I thank God for her life. Thank you very much for all your happy birthday wishes to my daughter. She's radio shy or video shy. So she's kind of, hiding from the screen. But all the same, she really appreciates all the birthday wishes and all the love that everyone is showing. We do appreciate you all, and we also thank you. We also thank God for the gift of life 17 years ago. It feels like yesterday, but all the same, let's give thanks and praises to the Lord Almighty for how far that He has brought us. Ebenezer, we thank God for the gift of life. And we also thank you, all those who have played a role, direct role, indirect role, anyone who has been positive, who has been influential in our lives and in her life. We also thank you. Like Mandela said, it takes a village to raise a child. And I believe that directly, indirectly, everyone has also played a role. And for that, we thank you all. Okay, now let's get back to business, which is the naturalization bit. And I know that there will be more time for celebration. So let's do a bit of business first, and then we come back to celebration. Okay, happy birthday to you. Okay, now, and also, you have to pass the Life in the UK test, and I did talk about the character test. The character test, I have to take time and explain it so that people understand exactly what it entails. And also, the requirement is that the applicant must have lived in the UK for a minimum of 5 years before you apply for citizenship. If you get married to British national, the rule is that you have to be living in the UK for 3 years. So that is the difference. So 6.1 and 6.2, they all say the same thing. They are all the same. The only difference is the residential requirement. Whilst if you are married to British national, it's 3 years. Other nationality, you have to be living here for 5 years. However, if you are married to European national, the rule is that you have to be living here for 5 years, and you must have your indefinite leave to remain for at least 1 year. It is for this reason that when you get your decision letter for permanent residency, you will normally come across a paragraph that says that after 1 year, you can apply for your British citizenship. That is the normal rule. However, the most important thing is, let's look at the character test. That is where the catch is. That is where the killer is. Because when it comes to the character test, it changes everything. And a lot of people are able to satisfy all the requirements that I have mentioned, whether under the section 6.1 or section 60. But for the past 2 years, the problem that a lot of people are having is the character test. And the character test, I'm going to take my time and go through point by point so that we know exactly what they mean by character test. The definition of character, it is not defined anywhere. A good character. When we say a good character, what is a good character? The life in the UK test, are there exemptions someone have tested? Yes, there is an exemption. If you are age less than 18, you don't have to do the life in the UK test or the English test. If you are over 65, you don't have to do the life in the UK test or the English test. Or you have a medical condition that prevents you from taking the test. In that case, if you come and see Lawyer Darko, I will liaise with your GP. If you have a genuine case, then we can get a certificate from your GP, and we can then make the application to the Home Office on the basis of an exemption from taking the life in the UK test and the English test. But if you don't have any genuine medical reason, then there is no point in calling me, because at the end of the day, it is the doctor who have to give that certificate. And if it's not on your record, the doctor does not know about it. The doctor is not going to do it for you. We need to realize that. But if you have a genuine reason, then of course, you will have a very good case to be able to get the exemption. So we thank you. Now, the most important area, especially this age is the good character test. The good character test. We need to really home in on this. The good character, unfortunately, it is not defined in law, and therefore Home Office have given us a guidelines, what they take into account, what they look at when they are making decisions in relation to naturalization, and what they may consider to be a good character or a bad character. So when they are making decisions, the first thing that they will look at is criminality. Whether the person who is making an application has got any criminal record in the UK or outside the UK. So when you are submitting the application or when you are filling the forms, they ask you this question: do you have any criminal record? And if so, they will ask, the type of record, the type of offense, the punishment, and the time that it occurred. They will also ask whether you have any record from outside the UK or you have any pending prosecution in or outside the UK. So they'll be looking at all this. If you have the record, then of course, they need to look at the nature of the offense, and they'll also look at the rehabilitation of the Offenders Act of 1974 as amended, whether the offense will be deemed to have been spent. And in the tintim ni titi American na any say oh yeah, naturalization na pese oje ekromu book a British book a bayano ebehwe say oh good character. Na good character no yen sure ne emra book biamu emra trade biamu na embom aban no ama emfato ho enema omu yusu ehwe say o character no say betimi a position say a good character. Enti ombehwe say o criminal record bi a eda wo so ana. Say why a criminal record bi mpo eda wo so a. They will also be looking at say the bena offense no o committee. What is the nature of the offense? Offense bena o committee. Sa offense no can it be deemed say what several punishment we are na anti anything you use against you. Now, no, maybe or if any the rehabilitation of the Offenders Act of 1974, which has been amended so many times. And the ombubu so more say, sa bonina wudi na ye tria woka na ye sentence wono. Emena aba betwem no, ye long enough unsan commit criminal offense bi enti santi eye ade a ye betimi ebu ye ni egu so ana. Eno ye friend no spent conviction. Now, no, a bit depend the offense cry why the yedemao. And a bit is a fixed penalty notice. And no yedemawa and no ana a 3 years. So we got 3 years a trim and until yentimi and use against you. Anna, there are offenses we also swear in tremuda. Offense to say imprisonable offense, I sentence you to prison for more than 4 years. Abia GBH. And then grievous bodily harm. Wako hiti will be amani body na ekra. Ama blood aba. Am yedu ako court. Am ya sentence so ebia more than saying a year in prison. And a body sana a offense you can never spend. You can never spend it. It stays in your record forever. And a body sana omutimi yusu against you. The chances of succeeding in naturalization is nearly zero because you'll be deemed not to have a good character. And you're very, very careful. And they will check whether you have criminality. Now, fixed penalties such as speeding or parking tickets must be disclosed. Normally, they will not normally use it against you unless you have failed to pay the fine or there was a criminal proceedings as a result. Criminality or say fixed penalty notices, you must state it. Say yama fixed penalty notice, it be a £10, £50. Now what triadia? Normally they will not use it against you. Obuwa obako paki baby ni amani penalty notice. No bude ni eguso. Okoye naturalization na se wuntria sa penalty notice na yetimi use against you yemfama. Se wetria dia they will not use it against you. Unless say So fixed penalty notice, no, it led to one, proceedings being brought against you. And now say it led to 3-point penalty on your driver's license and also a fixed penalty notice. And also so no scan went here and answer what here. And now say if it has occurred within the last 3 years, any no okoya application be refused. Now after 3 years no say fixed penalty notice will be deemed to be spent. Yasata ubetimi eya aton chain ebetimi ama wako wenim. Enti so what driving conviction aminia menfa eni agro. There are types of offenses and no almost say and no matter what omo entu muda. Enti no say uje boni bi na say sentence for 4 years or more imprisonment. Guidelines nature say any application that you make for naturalization, automatic, it will be refused. Say a sentence to imprisonment for 4 years or more. Now say only British there. As the law currently stands, you can never become a British citizen because any application that you make, automatically it will be refused. Now let's look at the second area. If you have been sentenced to prison for 1 year to 4 months, and also or say application will normally be refused unless 15 years have passed. And no, say a sentence to imprisonment between 1 year to 4 years. Just a change 15 years and send your application for naturalization. And yes, I will be refused. Also, say a sentence to prison from 0 to 12 months. And no, you have to wait for 10 years to pass before you can submit an application for naturalization. A non-custodial offense or sentence will attract 3 years. A bit of a fixed penalty na watria and utria aya twen ema 3 years imransa and send na okwakoye sa application. And he said one twen amana they will use it against you on the basis of character, that you do not have a good character. And you know, and no yenshe e hono enso. There to be good character a yine ka ho asem genocide a bia wa committed with an intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial or religious group. And if it's a mass killing or mass murder, maybe you have participate in something like that. Crime against humanity, war crimes, terrorism, or you are part of an organization that are involved in terrorism. All these can be used against you when it comes to the good character test. The next one is deception. If you have practiced deception in your dealings with the Home Office or other government department, by providing false information or fraudulent information or documents, this will be taken into an account when considering whether you meet the good character requirement. Or they go on to say your application will be refused if you have attempted to deceive the Home Office within the last 10 years. So if you have been caught attempting to deceive the Home Office within the last 10 years from the date of the application, then of course any application that you make will be refused. So this is something that we also have to bear in mind. Then the next bit, I think that is the crucial bit, is related to immigration issues. Immigration issues. Immigration issues, what are we talking about? This is where I think people need to be very, very careful, because people are rushing to make applications. Either their lawyers do not know, or they themselves, they do not know. They rush and make applications, and the applications get rejected. So what are we talking about? Immigration issues. I think it's important. Immigration issues, what the Home Office guideline says when it comes to good character, is that if you have ever breached the immigration rules, the American United say Home Office for say what betine kromu ada na say within the last 10 years what the application na ekono say what the application akọ home office anase watena kromo a illegal da anase would fa emfikyire ne bewura kromo a na uti kromo na wini paper ebu ekromo a emrane so dia for the purposes of immigration law dia ene oba be ya application within 10 years AC refuse mame fa ade we enye emfato ho ebia eno na entiase no ebe ye clear ebia me lawyer committee yi me ba kromo anamo 22nd of August 2010 me ba ye no me fa Dover ne bae enti enya visa na me ba me de bae enti that means me fa mfikyire ana ebe kromo anamo me fa mfikyire ba kromo ayi na chese mini famitu anase enkrata na mom nyame adom medimitia pempem saa aboso no oso onu de oni ani enso so nyame adom ti ba bi okọ obehu kwan akọ odi nti be pempem na obekọ nanim saa so na abo ntetia ose on de oni akoma ana oni ani enso timi nante otimi si ne bon ene chese wiase ene manyina nwanwa eno nti no me ba bi dimtia pempem ebia passport okra me ba ne bi nkitami dama sempoa ebi nkitami enso so nyame ada roma sebio oni na odi ohiase ohiani asem no me dimitia pempem sese nyame adom menya me indefinite ebia menya me indefinite no 5 years ago which was 2015 sese imagine ya me say sesem kita Ghana passport was a mitimi naturalization. The question therefore is, do I qualify to make an application for naturalization? Ebia mi wari yi sini anam dinya mi indefinite 5 years ago. On saka indefinite na letter na ka ho ba no omo tro so say after 1 year lawyer da kunwe you can apply for British citizenship. Ayampa essa letter no sa na eka. The question therefore is, so 1 year back ho a metimi apply ana. Yemfa ne say 2016 metimi apply. Say na person me apply, metimi apply ana. As the law stands today, application idiot, no one can stop you from applying. The question that eso busa ho ne say who apply, are you going to be successful? That is the question, especially in the light of this good character test that you must overcome in order to succeed. Now, good character test, they say may submit an application now. I have to make sure, say, I need to go back 10 years until a date, 22nd of August 2020. I have to go back to 22nd of August 2010. Number 7 who say from 22nd of August 2010 to 22nd of August 2020. Satan ni na me clean na. Say na me clean dia me koya application be refuse me. Simple. Finito. Sana etie. Emrane system me koya application between 2010 2020. Now say within that time no me boom rane so that by staying here illegally, by entering the UK illegally, yes, in the application be in refuse unless such time that I can prove say Martina Cromwell lawfully, continuously for a 10-year period. And in my case, you know, example I'm there and say maybe Cromwell 2010 na me honye 2015 and me nyame nkrata. And that means he said 2010 to 2015 na me honye. Enti me honye no na me boomrane so. Enti therefore when it comes to the character tester, I will fail the test miserably. And for that reason, se me ko rush na me submit my application now. Home Office will say, "Thank you for giving me free lunch." They will take the money, the application will get refused. And there is no refund when such applications are refused. Etienne Ganon, before so be application bia no busa wo ho sa question we I say a free say wo ba krom wo bumra ne so dana by staying illegally or by overstaying your visa. If the answer is yes, then you need to pause until such time that you have completed 10 years lawful stay. And yes, sir, Ususika, Ebekoti said here, Enkrofo, Esika Ekono. Only yesterday, someone came to me, and it seems to me it's a concept still yentiasi. And unfortunately, still some of the advices they don't know. And to kwa no busa, oh, are you easy? Oh, that's fine. Oh, are in the oh, are in say, when you're indefinitely saying, oh, 2017, oh, and 2018, cannot me qualify. On share character test and the 10-year requirement, you know. I feel no apply. 6 months later, Yasata application refused. I feel no we did order more. Was a boy mo, and you know, and also no, a important part say, you better take a note. Now, your application, or the Okako Empona Senya lawyer mpa, or the first advice you took to kum, netie, never ye Jumane Bebo Minia. At the end of the day, no, personally, Sanke Beko Trodier, and I can corner, and I can do Sikanetoa, a back near economy, and yet me use rather than so back near refuse Nesika Kwakoshin, and no dear Anna A Yapa, and Tiabesemupi, say Ube make a move be a ring, seek advice before you take the initiative to do anything. And yes, I tell you will lose your money. Say, Obabetina, I'm a visa, basically, you know, you fall within that. And I say, Oba so now, Sebio, Uber overstay, so you fall within that category. And no, you're very, very careful when it comes to that. Okay, now, the character test is what we've talked about. So let's make sure that we satisfy the character test in that respect. A idea edin crofonia pantina, Messiah AD, SISC subiano. Character test, illegal entry or overstaying. Make sure that you have completed 10 years lawful stay in the UK. Obiwa or Sheva, because I know lawyer media my yanisa, I then I work as the same way. Me pumachopi and brano a change. Sa law and that's a good character test, no? From my memory, I said 2016, 2017. It was somewhere in December, near Christmas time. And as Secretary of State, dean no change policy, no. And Tinipan be bargaining so up to now. Afe o de copy na Home Office akwa yaba. Even though Home Office for letter actually say after 1 year you can apply. And no, yemfanye chance there. Especially say who are European here. And I say if you acquired your indefinite true long residency, and also make sure say you have 10 years clean record before you make such an application. And yes sir, and also no enko you be refuse enti yemfa enhyɛ. Now the message can be say obiane in the circumstances where you are making a comma, especially worry European citizens, no, any especially munya indefinite through discretionary leave remain visas. However, say if you are married to British national and as someone with indefinite leave to remain, I don't know the rules need different. Say if you are married to British national and you have never breached the immigration rules, you are looking at 3 years. After 3 years, if you got it through other means, you are looking at 5 years in which you could apply for your British citizenship. Enti eno de mekane ehwa no. Enti ebesemu p before so betu anamono, seek advice at the right places. Justice and Law is one of the best places that you can come to, and our address is Unit 35B 49 Efra Road, The Link, SW2 1BZ. We are in Brixton, the last stop of Victoria Line. Justice and Law is also the last stop of Immigration and Nationality Law. Come to us, come and see us, and we believe that we can do you justice. Right. Now, today is a special day for me. Like I said, it's my daughter's birthday. Exactly 17 years ago, around this time, she was out, and basically, it changed my world. And I'm very, very, very grateful to my good daughter and also the joy that she gives me every day. And therefore, I also want to thank you all for wishing her a happy birthday. And because of that, today I would also like to talk about child law in the UK. Child law and the type of orders that the court can make. And I believe that what I'm going to talk about today, it will also be an opportunity for some of us who do not have papers to be able to see another angle, another way that you can also perhaps pursue in order to get your papers in this country. Someone said this to me that I would never forget. I said, being a father does not mean being the sperm producer, being a father to be there for your children, or any child that you are a father to be able to provide for the child emotionally, physically, psychologically, financially. That makes you a father. Physically, financially, emotionally, psychologically, being there for a child, that makes you a father. So it may well be a case that a child may not be your biological child, but the 4 items that I have just mentioned, you are providing to a child. And the child could be your partner's child, but you are more or less a mother or a father to this child. You help in the provision of physical needs, psychological needs, financial needs, and emotional needs. That makes you a father. And therefore, for me, it is important that even if the child is not your biological child, and you are a father to the child, some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today, you'll be surprised that it will also give some of us an angle to consider. If, for example, we do not have a stay in this country, if we do not have a stay in this country, what am I talking about? In this country, when it comes to children, we are governed by the Children's Act of 1989. Ghana has got a very, very similar provision under the Children's Act of 1998 in Ghana. And when you look at this law, I can't see any difference. It's like a copycat. The same rules and the same sort of stuff are written in both acts. And even the years that it came into effect, they are so similar that if you're not careful, you will sort of mix them up. UK one is the Children's Act of 1989. Ghana's Children's Act is Ghana Children's Act of 1998. Now, under the Children's Act of 1989, what the law says is that, Section 1, when it comes to decision making concerning children in the UK, as long as the courts have jurisdiction, then of course the courts must make decisions based on what is in the best interest of the child, regardless of what a mother may feel or think, regardless of what a father may think or feel. They will use the law. What is in the best interest of the child? When you go to family court, emotions is out. It's logic and law. And therefore, it is important when we are embarking on such applications, or someone is threatening us that they are going to take such an action, we need to park our emotions in the car garage. We need to park our sensitivities into the gutters. Because when you go there, what the judge will be looking at is the Children's Act of 1989, Section 1. The decision concerning children, what is in the best interest of the child, is paramount when it comes to weighing all the factors in making decisions concerning children. And therefore, for that reason, what is in the best interest of the child will take precedent under or over any other consideration. So as long as both parents are no danger to the child, hardly will a court make a decision forbidding one parent from being involved in his child's life. I am saying this because I've come across a lot of cases. Those cases, sadly, Ubehun say Oba Euss akrano against the father. In some cases, Ubehun say father Euss akrano against the mother. In some cases, someone will say CP, child pollution. One parent will be polluting the other parent with the hope that the child will be on their side. You see, one thing about lying or manipulation or by undermining someone is this. You be undermining someone today. The person that you are undermining the person to will become a friend with the person who is being undermined. And you will see that at some point, all your secrets, all the damaging, all the undermining will come to light. And because of that, the person who is doing the undermining will end up losing two people. Because not only are you going to lose your partner or ex-partner, but also maybe a mutual friend because of the undermining and the dirty works that was going on underground. And it's in a Jamaica for saying the Korean miensa. Oh, no cray, meme no cray, and no cray name would shin fin, and will be a chin a crane on the side. But you ought to be very careful because words are powerful and they can kill. The word that come out of your mouth, they are powerful and they can kill. Because once you start damaging, assassinating someone's character to another person, you are also promoting hatred towards that person. So if you are not careful, directly or indirectly, so a child gets so polluted that the child hates her mother, the child hates her father, the child pick up a gun or a knife, stab the mother based on hate that a mother or a father would have put in a child's head. Indirectly, you have also committed a murder. Indirectly, by poisoning, using the child as an agency to commit that felony. So we ought to be very, very careful with the words that come out of our mouth. They are powerful and therefore they can kill. So in this country, the court have made it very, very clear that unless there are exceptional circumstances, unless there is a very good reason, the court will not deny a parent from being involved in his child's life. And under Children's Act of 1989, so many types of application can be made. So if you're a mother, if you are a father, and the other parent, you are no longer together, especially, it normally happens when the parties are no longer together. That is the time that the venoms come out. That if you can't have me, you're not going to see the children. If you don't want to be with me, you're not going to see your own child. And then the blackmailing and the undermining starts. Men are doing it to women, women are doing it to men. It's important that when there is a breakdown of relationship, try and be civil to each other. So if you're a man, a woman, the other party is stopping you from seeing their child, the law makes provisions for applications to be made. Let's have a quick look at the types of application that can be made and what you can do. The first one, application that you can make, is what we call child arrangement order. Child arrangement order. So you try to see your child. The other parent will say that, don't come to my house. Then you ask, okay, bring the child to McDonald's so that I can see the child. I don't have time. Or maybe you ring the other parent. Every time you ring, they keep pushing you tomorrow, next week, and basically they are messing you about. If you want to be involved in your child's life, don't just sit there and say, oh, the child's mama doesn't want me to see the child and therefore I pack up. That is not responsible parenting. You need to do whatever it takes to be involved in your child's life. So you can make an application for child arrangement order under Section 8 of the Children's Act of 1989. A child arrangement order decides the arrangements for whom a child is to live with, spend time with, or otherwise have contact with. And when a child is to live, spend time, or otherwise have contact with the other parent. So it's important that you know what you are doing. You make child arrangement order. You go to court, a judge have to make a decision if the parties cannot make their own decision. If the parties are able to make their own decision, for me, it is important that you have something called consent order. And the consent order will provide a mechanism to make an informal agreement legally binding in the court. So, for example, you sign a consent order for both parties and you send it to the court for stamping or to make it official. So it is important that the parties can do something called consent order without the need to be dragging each other through the court and making it a public, public spectacle. Not everyone wants to drag their child through the court. So if the parents are reasonable with each other, they can agree with something called consent orders. If you come and see our justice and law solicitors, we can draft one for you, and after that we can send it to court to get a proper court order to make it official for you, so that it's legally binding. You can also have something called parental responsibility agreement that both parties can sign it and therefore also officialize it, so that register it at the family court, high court, so that that also becomes official. But if the parties cannot agree, you make the child arrangement order. You can also make specific issue order. Specific issue order is an order giving directions for the purposes of determining a specific question which may come up as a result of the parenting of the child. So, for example, you have a mother who, or maybe a father who will normally take a child to maybe places that you are not happy with. Ebia una woye maame no anase woye papa no ebia o partner uni na gyae no certain behaviors be e koso a wani nye ho anaso de akra ne kokko ba bia umpe eba ne sana you can make application to court for specific issue order no court based me make order say ebia maame no should not be doing this, should not be doing that. And I say you can do something called, another one is prohibited steps order. And also you can prohibit the mother, for example, ebia ma many person they are crying too crying, who shows they are crying too crying, ebia on far crying maybe. And also to make application to that effect. And I say you can make an application to vary or discharge a child arrangement order. Once the child arrangement order has been made, at some point, if there's a change in your circumstances, ubetimi aye application a change saso na betimi aye enforcement of child arrangement orders bia oni maami mako court amount order, but bia order na yesi maami no emfa akra ni enhia McDonald's every Saturday at 12 o'clock. Debiano, mamini drew to onim so beko adwuma tu ba wa hyeda ana ode akra ne ba time a obeba no na wuni ho no mo said ye ya obe frustrate you e ba ne sana we the other parent meant na ho enkase no ano no because wantu anamon a emre bi no ode asembe to so eso de akra ne kra ba wuni ho no mo o mehwa akra no e bi so a time eso de akra ne ba no enya sa time ode akra ne ba. Say ufi se entiasie enye adwuma and you go back to the court and apply for enforcement where the other parent will be forced to do what, to bring the child to basically to a place where you can see the child at a specific time. It's very, very important. Also, you can make an application breach of a subsequent enforcement orders. If you are caught making an order as a mommy and I said papa for credit you had 12 o'clock. Now still no or play games. You can go back to the court again for a breach of subsequent enforcement orders. Mommy no answer you bit me and I said beja credit free say of course say obebu court order this one. That will be the consequences. Until another say we a parent. Now say order ni bi o you have to be very, very careful. Also, declaration of parentage. Ebia unim se ono baby awo. Oba say onfa wudin enhye akra ne so da. Onfa wudin enhye akra ne birth certificate so da. For one reason or the other is only up to her or up to you to know. And also so ufi say una wo ye akra no e papa. Biologically, and deny the right to be a father to your child, then of course you can make an application to the court for them to determine the parentage of the child. That would then mean at some point the child, you may be forced to do DNA to prove that you are the father to the child. Which means DNA prove say yes, you are the father to the child. They are naturally say a honor. Uni problem within back birth certificate and so within and also you can also make application for child contact order. Say unya child contact now. Now say crata mpona wuni bia and also so betimi de kina so e de a fight for odie enti and also so de be kan wo e ho no no sasona ye wo another application and also ubetimi aye fe step parental responsibility order. A step parental responsibility order. You apply for this order where akrano ne mame or sawo ne papa biologically ebia omo relationship no ese ye no ana wo mbom ukohia akrane mame anase akrane papa say uno partner ne nete akrano uso hwe ne biti se wo ba ukofa ni school o de ne kwa sorry aye ba de ne kobi party ba o de ne kobi parent evenings who could be ebia you are like a father to the child. And me say me starting on make a baby about being there for the child psychologically, physically, financially and emotionally. If you are able to prove all this, then of course you can get step parental responsibility order. Once it's given to you, now akrane e British and also akrane wa asetena okromo and also so no said you utimi efa ho e de we cake. Enti eno so eno sasuna another application ubetimi aye this is where abia akra no enya wo ba aye fe ni residency order abia wunua bi ba wunua no abia wa pake akwetena America abia making akra ni nkrata anase abia akra no ye British wo a wo hwe akra no uni hwe ewo kromu ano eba ne sa na ubetimi aye application akọ aye fe no residency order abino and I said court no ebetimi ama residency order say onwunya say de ya wona yama residency order o de hwe British child no more money tua under Zambrano and also under human rights also ubetimi afa ho e de awe crackers also ubetimi e de enya wasetena ewo ekromu anum say obi e de obasoso adwane na unim bebia oba no ewa and also so ubetimi aye a home application under section 34 and no ubetimi affor so the other parent for them to basically for court to make an order to disclose the whereabouts of a child and the child's whereabouts very very important and a powerful tool and also so we are there ubetimi a use enti and also so no enti no em say child orders and answer applications ubetimi aye ne de endless na emum mashada na mabobo the most important part me feel say for the purposes of immigration law no ebeboa yenuanom pi ewo ekwan bi so enti ene me shada enkasa enche too much me be friend Mr. Eshan na yene na twen komo kakra bi ewia ne ene Paradise City for so atwen komo kakra bi ni take phone calls na afi makono akwa celebrate me birthday in a nice way na me spend the time with her a bit sana etie life for the life is important but you do a bit so now I'm making a special na chese with me spend the time with the children as well and you know sana etie enti ebe frɛ Mr. Eshan na yene na twen komo kakra bi na afi na ya frɛ Paradise City for na afi bia matro for na tu ye bia tuma na afi wa be we ne price list so no na ye di amount enti na sana etie Mr. Eshan, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Nyame adom na ho ye de.
Nyame adom. Mpacho say.
Ye de nyame nasi, ye de nyame nasi. And also a special day because we offer us with this 17 today.
Oh, that's we thank God.
It feels like yesterday.
Exactly.
And it's like 17 years ago, and I'm running to the hospital.
Yeah.
On the 21st.
Wow.
You know, and we have to stay overnight.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a marathon.
That's amazing.
But we got there in the end, so we thank God for the gift of life.
Great.
Now, and then our my Mr. Prada, Mr. Eshan.
Mr. Eshan, yeah. Mpacho, we find saying, but I was celebrate say one mama Quinja. Family with you for adorful Ghana community now. Then we are seeing now with you. Yanchichin Komo Kakra about Amway. No, they put that we find saying Abejaso. Your course abode will be brave. Osan say near Econo. Especially say high blood pressure, and I say I'm say medically, you know, more for hypertension. Oh yeah, and then you see baby you come you don't miss call. Now you causes na there to say be a stroke, ne brain damage, ne no one can it me causes into me. I'm monitor and as you control hand pressure now near LED and into near one was putting the quickest data and as a silent data. What can one seminar on NAD? These are some of the area I'll say a bombardination or say a bombardina bibia your cost on your monitor. Very, very important. Beside that, you know, Bibi Subaka say, oh, friends saying, Medidium. Nyamba to tase Ghana for and as a dofu na say ye did so a contribute to such a lifestyle we can life in the UK into ye did so life of eating no ya na say lifestyle or contribute to greatly war even high blood pressure and even diabetes because of people to drubi. Now, and also still bad pressure now cost diabetes now cost. I'm saying never. So when you see a product now, there is no way offense or diabetes never cost. Into many kuko munka crack me interview no na general, not just one or ye jumanite. Unto mean that the nimpano so diabetes na one da risk. Osan say also to me da. Now system nice and nice you blood in here start to say a year juma. Now you control. Now so going to me in ye na because of quick juma ba now friends saying Quarano so or nice or social Quarano so did the ben of which me had that ye they be an urban so quick juma. Nti nkwala no so mma no woda daddy now ye hias igwe na wa sorry. Nti bo han say time aso na the same time so ko adwuma night bio. Nti de sa na chese wonu meduru no keke na chese nye adwuma. Ne yebo to task ne say yembo madiani nhwe ye duane ye you say ye duane no contribute major and I say greatly to yan problems are basically a war because you are dealing with the immune system. Inti na meka ketwa bi won say bia ye di ndwane bebre but also ye bomadian say mono unsaturated no ni poly unsaturated fat ye bomadian because one containing essential fatty acids now ni fat soluble vitamins into you say ye bomadian eden you to me to see the right one. Na you put that in your bab could be more lecithin E until last blood pressure. So on you take bad cholesterol out of your system. Nya otumi left your lecithin E nutrite. Need the say you di fatty acids bebre you fatty acids no need the you di no na den. But on the say you good good fats. Nya what buy so you can say good cholesterol, nya what bad cholesterol. But etumi yani say ono yi bad cholesterol in fuel system no more. What I say to you bad cholesterol in fuel man just abaka good cholesterol. Inti wo friend saying one of the product in the juma aid and etayen. Inti say won to me monitor in other words won to me control with duane no na day to say bia o. Oni say wodi enam so bebre red meat ni so bebre ni na so contribute because on man of circulation on to me digest and as a result, obon say we then minor problems. Into mono unsaturated no we find some poly unsaturated fats. Only 1 minute be a medebay then be become awesome. Say come mono unsaturated now. Also would dictate to be no Indian also avocados, olives, olive oil, rapeseed oil. Almonds, cashews, hazelnuts, peanuts, pistachios, spreads. Spreads it is we bu hamana madri. No say all offense and all nuts. No more eyes and mayam. No more into what me just spreading kakaka guguso. F contributed power, which is very, very good. Only for mono unsaturated. Until also need to me it contain the healthy cholesterol here no. Beside that, you another one poly unsaturated. Unsaturated no so or a small amount be no say then you bomb with the only say be oily fish. It is a product be a omega 3 contain oil fatty acids. Until only to me control that. Until oily fish and also contribute to that. Corn oil, sesame oil, soya oil, and then spreads of these oils. Into you to me or to me buayan and kakakra. And apart from that, your flaxseed, na their shops na dobenya flaxseed, your pine nuts, your sesame seeds, na sunflower seeds, no ni walnut. San you make now say bombardier then you didn't kakanka na support ye then your system no. Into the more you do, Sani, not just say or contribute to a little cholesterol, basically, a good, but only say you didn't be brave because everything too much in your friends say or a bad. Until you to me, yes, I bet me contribute to your normal system, no, may be then be fine. Besides that, I'm the baby, you were saturated. Saturated, or see, also, I be a young woman, they say, but swapping this unsaturated fat, no. Eating too much saturated fat increases the amount of cholesterol in your blood. Eating too much, also contribute to a offense and cholesterol in our blood. Until also Bibiana yet to me say, you must swap it for this unsaturated fat, to get to the right one. Into the processed meat, you can saturated fat, a processed meat. A dear offense and nama to say guanam upon chinam no ni na de nam no or bosse bombardin say you di kitwabi See, be a pa, say between in a quapa near diabetes, no high blood pressure, a between in a quiet bombardier in aqua. Let us say in fear so crab. The beanie sausages, ham, burgers, fatty meat, hard cheese, including cheddar, in a whole milk, in a cream, in a butter, hard one, in a lard, ghee, sweet, palm oil. Na coconut oil. You know, say bombardier good. Coconut oil contain antioxidant. But also bombardier didn't catch one bibian kakra. You didn't be brave. Until the offense and the more you know, the more no contribute. You need a banquine on a tie deeper if you say be a good too much. Pacho tenant so. Because now oil na woman and boy and beer and boy and also a bombardinane. No, say or say a bomb of the baby is a trans. Avoid wherever possible. They can increase cholesterol in your blood. Foods with hydrogenated oils or fat in them likely contain trans fat. Evening fried foods, takeaways, snacks like biscuits, cakes, or pastries, and then hard margarines. These now will contain trans. Into also a bombardana, fat no minute dawson. They say a bombardana, then you know, aqua, and as he reduce you. I mean, to me, that's nasty. Why, brother, your cost one exercises. It may be hot now, because many bidding come on. Why, I can crack out in a fear on Kojuma on your Bibia. But never can say bombarding if you your lifestyle. Yeah, I must always take it, put that now. Put that little February. Now, 1 second, somebody come and say, your baby, I'm for your friend with detox. A detox system, in other words, no guts, no colon. A detox, you need to do it to me, and I say, put that no, but to me, detox system, no. So, we detox, yeah. That's what started, so we will know kaka. For sure, also, because it doesn't work quickly. But to play the we a caseka crowd, Hunami kakra, why a little bit fat. Now, or friends, and as a fat will move because of the journey with the dinner, dinner. Or so, now you photo on idea. Yeah, baby can catch on cells, so we detox, we will feel detoxification. So, we detoxification, when we detox now, and we see, ye, be bearer, a sea, where we find colon, no, got in a coin. But end to me and function properly. I'll find what started so will far you put that in. And I tell you, and I believe in God, you say, we take you put that now. You will never regret. Because you know how you see put that now. You will be on your arthritis. Within 1 month, less than 1 month, you want no mama need your placement your hospital. So can you need or no much need for fraud. Okay, your operation. What started so useful, Yamado? Just within 1 month. Your friends say to me, Nancy, India Moanka preparation. A bus will harbor fan kakra, need now because of India, in Panumuya Drukakra, and us also kakra, or say we detoxify, we will try so we be our system. Into we are supposed to know where you got to know there will be a won't him be anyway, and son of wouldn't put that now, was satisfied working perfectly, because I dance here, if it's here a question, a young woman. Into lawyer, but that's be brave. You will put that in the brave. You will ready to friends and paste, special toothpaste. I can't say which program name, which any of your product. Yami Aduma, pack it be out. You special toothpaste. That's when him, and you glance bleeding. We be a winning can be a answer TTB. And chair just last 2 weeks. We be buying us in the sorry. To me, cry because of if in Banadi, Yamaduma, you're sorting out with our toothpaste, no name, Gresta, spray. Into a portal, friends, and it has to be brave. You're able to make a war, Amway, you put that on and
yeah, that was a part. Now, bet you do number Tuga, any or contact details at Tuga, Abiana, Obi is interested.
But your number is 075 076 30487. Pacha Misiso 075 076 30487. Na your website here www.amway.co.uk/user user/MESH. Ukwe website so na bibia ho bia yemfa ebuni bi nto so nti bibia so company na nkasa na ba ship a product na ba ofie direct nti mu hia product bia wo contact na ebetumi abo nti we da se nya menka ho na.
Yeah, that was CP, that was Mr. Amway, and also your tin cano. Yakobo, Ebeko, quick. Now, Paradise City for, as I said, no, the blood pressure machine here, Abba. Almost say, ene, yen fama etie for no, yen fama obi. Now, last week, you know, say method that you choose to ye, obi otimi free ye be and ye chro nidin. Ye wie no, ana ye de to raffle a yimuna ye shaky ye, and ye dine bako. Do we ne no ye de akwa koma no mame boatman de we ne last week for your chance to win this no you be amatru for the tuma also betimi afrai ye be busa question kakra bi se wutwa fine when twa kra do din beto ade ni mu bi na ya pick one name at random also so a you chance to win one of these machines said the Mr. Aircano blood pressure technically they call it hypertension no a silent killer eku enkrofo pa e wo wiase na adena ebenwa ana ehu sese etwi sa na tie enti na ye de yehu bi sisi amekan yenyam ya amane ntu timesre wa be fre no nya de betimi afa enti no ebebie amana tu ebie tuma wa wo be fre bia ye be twiro budi na ye dudi ato raffle mu na afi no ye be the form of a raffle na ye choose one in random na afi ne de ma sa enipa no enti no before that no ye be free Paradise City for na ye ne omo atwe enkomo kakra bi na omo soso no ya hwe de omo de ebre ye ene anopai Paradise City eye organization omo soso omo si edan efie e wo Ghana eton na obi busa se na omo eye de omo eton ensase na o sa the moment de omo nton ensase na emom omo ton edan eno beko no yesi dan na esi asase de so enti enye afi na ekwakoye wo bia enya afi na efe ne sei microphone crefo mo sei omo vigilante for no omo ababejo asase na akoye nsempi edan ni siso a wasumdwe wasumodwo edan ne so enya afi na ode kwakoma obi na de bia ye du sika na why stress na blood pressure kosro na wugina phone so na tembia na ye ensempi na wanim Ghana for say ye city no obi adu sika no wo ye du sika na ye victim no ukobie wano ekasa na wumom wasa abeye ye fe ne sen nipa bonini enti sane mani nyina no we can avoid these problems if and only if we change the way we think and the way we do things. Enti we there a opportunity Paradise City for abai ombe ma yasuma adwe almost so omsa de Ghana omde abrochire ko Ghana enti so ti abrochire na person ko Ghana na still o pese o feel se wo ti abrochire a ene na enware Paradise City enti no yesa aka omo wie ye ne omo entwe enkomo kakra. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, lawyer.
Ado Madam Paradise City na say.
Nyame adom boko pampa chonso e.
Nyame adom okukrokro na da Roma ye ho eye pa. Na etie for so omo da wase. Ene ade a etache wakoma. Mo so mo se there bi esi etimi save lives. Enti kakra mo se betimi aye no. Mo beye na mato 3 blood pressure machines. Na yedi ama yenuanum bi ma ombewe ne. Last week mame botma awene ne de. This week de ni and also so ana ekita me amede chire screen. When you say box ekita me o enye fake. na me wo so no bibia hye kama enti no wo so we na ye de beto post mu e de abrɛw na also so o de check o blood pressure enti on behalf of our listeners mpese me take this opportunity na ye nyina ye da wase se wo so tie ye no wanye de wo so dwene Ghana for ho ana se wo dwene listeners ho na se da bi wo so befa kwan bi so e de aboa enti no yes ye da wase we appreciate your support and your help na ene ede na o MIA.
Oh, Patrol, before me Kakrano, Patrol, Obaba, your friend is saying.
Your friend is Shannon.
Shannon.
Your friend Efia Santoa.
Efia Asantoa. Okay. Mami, does me to you get to me Efia Santoa.
Hey, any, William Koda, Messa Koda, who you, young quay.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jeffia Santois. Happy birthday to you. May God bless you now. May God bless you now. May God bless you now. May God bless you now.
Thank you very much. That was very good. Man to be because my voice is there. Can be too much and I say be and the positive back actually. My voice is there. Na lie. That was CP. That was special. That was very nice. I didn't know so you could sing.
Oh.
That was good. That was good. Read them now. You stable.
Okay.
Me told you ma e cost na about phone.
Means
stabilize no. Some make a sacred you can tell. Make a sing in loud.
Oh, debut. It has power. So.
Okay, very good, very good.
Good. Yes. Thank you so much, Yanso, for opportunity now to just come on and add to the value now or add it to the society. Blood pressure a very big deal for the community, especially say your bad saying I can last week in your feet your crew must say your back for so your agenda say we have to accomplish BB and you're careful na you balance life na pressure no take over and to say Mr. Shan kind it's not any one part pet and now now the actual health blood pressure as long as also for Bruno where do any GM is an issue and now comes to the quality of decision making and also very important into the decision is wow. And on your side, the decision in properties. Then me me help you in the future. And you talked about children's law. I did about soon say maybe not necessarily just Ghanaian community, but maybe African community is young Kuala no young Shada introduce you to this property knowledge at a very young age, and I inform on because you see almost and Ebanisana say near knowledge in the haunted decisions now you make key concerning properties and Shada Emboa. And a dying crack say a ton of powder Uber to me, Eddie Ama Oba, as well as also Uber to me new Muda joint. It's something now Uber to me, Eddie Ama Oba. Now, Wama Oba, any Ako if because I mean, Nientia, what about UK, dear, ya went for UK, now, fee. Ghana and identity very important. I sometimes not my refer to Bible more. No person Jews no crying other people ben mengo. And your identity, cultural identity is very important. Doesn't mean there was there who stick it to it by force, but who maybe warm. Now from other people's culture. Papa no now they are boom. And it's good say my and kwala no adwin ekofi, and one way will be that ube introduce your more to properties. Now the omo kohono so I say they be can and that's the only property. How are you going to make it enjoyable for them? And when you not come home as much as relieving the pressure of staying in Benya Dino. One a bed wine. Where do we look? Say, Nina Kaho. And Paradise City was formed to assist and for to be able to obtain this kind of, project to relieve almost stress, any pressure. And see, what show pressure no, who did no now quality no decisions so of property no, and also now when make it the right choices. Now and no abrabo no fine because nyame opese enjoy abrabo pa opese juma work hard but also enjoy the fruit of our labor on pese ba be juma ya kwa kusi dan atamaso no na ewu na obi na enjoy that be opese to enjoy usikano usidan is for you obi decided say ubetimi ayi bibia na ubetimi ne quality of decision and so yeah tone down so a down tone is to also help to improve lives as much as the give it to me kakra ya waka and
da wasipi Paradise City for na moyeti omo no anase yeti omo enka no say o pese o to a dan ewo Ghana and you can get in touch of Paradise City. Almost so many facilities and I say ways and means are umbitimi edi aboa. Or from an show circumstances they can then tailor it according to your needs. Now umbitimi asort out because a dine and I say land and once some Ghana forget it. I cried up once some koto land of tuti because time you end up going to court. Every land in Accra is litigious, and therefore you are buying trouble. Land in Swenya easy, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 for a piece of land. Shetama would dibenya land and send a baby and home manson 1 year. Would you see Kenyan abe manson? Abraba babu chibibo yina na yekwa. And tebesrepi about time we think modern, about time we think smart. 3 bedrooms executive. Se Paradise City sorting out mawa a litigation free and ya fe na no bi kwatwetwe ho manso bia wasumu jo entina a very important ese ye bed and ye be change the way we think. Now Paradise City almost different types of houses are ubitimi idea ato and the wo ho entina sankabetimi range of prices no be my idea a bia houses roughly speaking how much it will cost her. And also so aya it's me boa amount for pa because you crop for the BBI price BBI price you say you who price no na you who den so ye prepare ba forward and say ye ba forward said be on penny for say odwan we so be pem wo konachi enti bebrete hodin omo hwe de ekoso obi wo pese o tip price no no wa measure ne ho no ahwe how a ebisi akọ enti sanka betimi amaye a bit of a rough guide obi wo ha ene na wode atoa ebia. Last time I worked on price at 7 and now he wasn't listening, he wasn't even aware of us. I feel the near Abahano. And to some to me, I'm a rough idea, the types of buildings are all any the types of fees and I say costa a be costo. Now I'm a for idea kakra. Now or telephone number would be betuja because obi or tofi chrome so be me I don't blame people because obi or ye wa de kra na say ohuma na afi nani brew. I we are so biane na braba obo obiane ne de enti no bi o ho a e down kra wato a omo bia hu se wato dan o si dan a omo bia hu se o si dan because of a bia kasa e be free piano abenti enti no se kad betu dwa enkofo be for Nicodemusly no ma ba be hu Nicodemusly na omo so etimi aye omo de
Actually, you might say. Before I met and anybody can better can say your two payment system, your self-financing and your mortgage, you know. But what I can say is, especially when it comes to mortgage, now for your calculation now. No say, oh my gosh, mortgage, you know, interest no, so high. Unless maybe we are individual and say, oh, means me enya loan be or access to finance UK and the European world now and our interest level no very low because market no matured. But what I say most of the time no, it is very difficult to say be a chunk of money and access to such a facility. And you know, the upper uto dana or committing as a oh, new way to me train. I mean, so many people are more contacting me 10 years ago, 7 years ago. Oh, new wedding up to now. To me, two Nyamaho and Amon. Meanwhile, prices of the houses that were Ghana and conform a cost through into cost no cry a common. And see, at Vito Akumas Nasa, so start a crabby out of media start to cry. What short circumstance? Yes, not what they are started. And mortgage, so it's for 15 years. It doesn't mean that you have to stay with the whole 15 years. Along the way, now, so when you start chunk of money now, what's made it to your interest, no, a so cut it. It's now a part of the decision making now. Yes, we're still looking to see. Say, you know, you've been some cheaper options for interest at the moment. You know, what is best? What offer basically. And so I know our mortgage or self-finance is as low as £500 can get you a 3-bedroom house. £400 a month can get you a 2-bedroom house. There were 2-bedroom, there were 3-bedroom. And they all for but we realize that people like 3-bedroom is very, very popular. These days, I can see no perform because like we were saying, and Kuala no most of the time, my dream I can say how long did they stay there for? Kids will be normal to be called for holiday number back. It's very good, it's very fine. But only even the dream house no craft no cost it's best so better estate dear. Uto estate dear. Anas near say dear nafe. Oh baby tina kakra still dream house now. It's even better. Shame. There are so many stories. It's ranging from 2-bedroom, $55,000. Echo a 3-bedroom, 75. A new casa. Based on your circumstance, we are very flexible as long as we allow we do the best for you. So we person contacting you. The number is 0+44 333 011 7724 +44 333 011 7724. Mobile no WhatsApp +44 790 847 5802 +44 790 847 5802. Website here www.paradisecitygh.com. We take the stress out of owning a home in Ghana. That's it.
Yeda wasipi Paradise City for na yete omo enkano. Enti no sinu sika na very very simple. And then if you see a change, and you feel now, Okaku, who he be a coto assassin or machine up for ne registration, all this headache, especially Ghana. How are you going to do all this? Ana baby free so no, udo ni kotu obi so. O ho be kire wo. Wo dis kan ekono, no so di si ne die. Wo kwa kan so a yesu ye nfa bonini. Enti no, me feel say they are here to save us because yes idea any e be missing crowd dan ama wo mo. Enti no a beautiful concept. Me feel say e be boye nuanom pi. Ene dan kakraka sunim fa so unya baby adu ti beto akakra bi na wa ye free na chese wona wo kɔ wani mu no. Enti Paradise City for Yadamasepa and I'm also appreciate your participation and your care. So was more who and I'm Sidabi, yes, so as me boy your community. Enti no Yadamase and so Omade and Ampaba. Enti no Yadibako Esa Abeche. And who sent for Fran Efre. Hey, Yasemo. Enti Yadasemo P. Mama ye program ye kase mon fra na ma frɛ cause am for frɛ e dey disturb ye sa enti nya nto boase ye bia ma true for the tuma na ye timi afrɛ na kyese ye timi idea yi wa be frɛ bia no ye be twuru wudin ye wia ye be choose one name in random na afi no ye timi e dey akoye nim enti na ye pese amamfo eye aware of your friend is saying blood pressure enti no ofra e dey bubusa question about blood pressure. Now, hopefully, no through that, in a way, entertainment, in a way, is also educational. Because sometimes we can be binoti, and I was select now, if you want to know what it is. And to know who at the corona was a tembiano because of the sea, and I'm all kind of easily. Sana area senator. And Tiagina Yesia Ubinima Ubichere. Madam PC and Mr. PC, Yadamasipi, Yami Inshram. Okay. Bye bye. Okay. Afe mwana mo frɛ nyina amatrofo na hye sɛ ye bia atum number no eye 07538969589 ubetimi idea afrɛ yen wo question bia ubetimi afrɛ na wobisa saa so na wo pɛsɛ owene rafo ne so a so ubetimi afrɛ ne atwere wudi na ye de account enti say no it is about 1:30 and then by 2 o'clock Yapon ya sata ye ko. And Kofa send a text. I say, can I call you after the show? Pacho P after the show. And then Adaji any poso. And two from me after the show are unyami. It's Mr. P. So it's me afraid ya. And your friend Monday from 9:30 air corner. Or Freya a bit me ajoso. Some case me from and I say meet me from after the show. And no dear I'm joking. And yet possible and because of other engagement I am involved in. And I trust to say ubetimasi. Say emergency I would send the text a can be my friend. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, lawyer.
Good afternoon to you.
Me what man can say.
Hey, mammy what man let us say.
Oko na me nan na sharo. Na me pese me test ya mobi. Me pese o timi voice no. Me mama nan na happy birthday. Nyami shira no man kwa tintin. Na lawyer na wo pa che so o twa this year o twa A levels ro pa kwa.
A levels never next year. Yeah, A levels next year. So I feel already 17.
But I was running for a pass because we're clever.
O levels need in Yamiadum, Bibia Koye pa.
Good. Why are you pa? Because I'm a little bit never catch up. Or you sure so a pass pa. And you know, you're the Yamiasi. Now, Messa, the Asadaka see Bema and then the year at one or more quala. No man or ban and a shame qualado. And to Mrs., if you can hear me, well done. You've done very well. I'm very proud of you. Yet the Asadaka see Emma or bar, SM Emma, they get to every near the mama. Because a man in a blame more. No, Minsaka blood pressure machine. Na me dash pa na me shiraw na woni mo meka serese mbia mwahe blood pressure machine ada me wo woni me say program na wo ye no inspire kofu bi but one hwe ya me de me kunu e be example woni me say Sunday no oba e no tie program no blood pressure machine ba Tuesday na ba ye no e do bi say me say na blood pressure ye machine ye na so fire life na dia brebe o so ne be trase no de ade na bɔ me no press start no why wouldn't say you measure the blood pressure that or you was no so for me na me so check me dey na say hey so program me to me inspiring growth and we taking zero but pain checking the blood pressure that because on go check wow and so what we are that program now tie no ena afei catch him so the way na David cry can and the moment so check me dey na be transfer am for dey afei me we was even so transfer no so won be afei enti afei dey bia o check it o ya was say ena me check here me nhwe am so won enti ade bi wo ho na ya nhwe ni ya a very very education program now the prayer no obi wo ho a no say oti a wo fa mu nyansa e free mu enti me ankasa de bi wura aye no example kakra meka no na amwe aduro na papa na eka no se wonno na se wote wote ba ma se de wo ka se nkofo bi aya kase ati wo ye move 1 week bra no se wonno papa na aduro na so wa move a lawyer anya adwuma ese se wo nante wo ko hospital kura ye ka cho se nante wo de 1 hour kura 2 hours kura dey a ebebo enti kakra meka no lawyer me da se be pire me saka blood pressure mu frentem na munya bi na me dem age me dey da ba a very good machine pa me na mka kire wo
yes
enti me da se be pire na me shira ho
yes ye da wase enti wa we ni bi dey e me say this week dey em fa di nka ho ye be ma obi a on we ni bi so opportunity na ono so ai dey etimi awe ni bi. Hello good afternoon.
Hello David
na mpacho hwana ka say
Mr. Boachi na ka say
eja Boachi waboko
pa mi tie ni nyina
sao
o ka bia mi tie na enti a me chese mo ko ne say na me frɛ ne yi blood pressure ni ntia enti me boko is that the chire chuku na me tie
sa okay na eno question my na so be say do din eka ayi ne ho list ne ho na yetimi utimi we ne
mon family din ka ayi no
okay any me busa question baako before so beko who take blood pressure measurement na eye 2 ways bi a omo e de calculate the top one and the bottom one daily is saying
that's on the
review no problem o de obekwa mubi so aba ba ma true within you do din beka list ne ho e wi na choose one person over near send it there bro why that's it bye bye hey asemo me patch number no number dey digima no eye 07538 969 589 say ufre besi sa number ne so a enu mom na ebeboa ye. You are live on Facebook. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, lawyer.
Good afternoon to you. I'm Patrick to say.
No,
oh, no problem. I know the HM yanko yanim.
But
and
the can say material program here, but after that's not something about now. So I did miss media boa program and send over almost 200 Facebook groups and me do share more me share because you don't know to be a share bit was a movie.
That's right.
Because I also share thousands of people be share Ghana, Europe, UK, maybe you know we do share me share out it will take about 1 hour but me share until the most view you know every cost you know yeah they miss me to my because of say asida nyame so onsha pa and so problem be bia so tie will be out bia o bia na esemo o Facebook wa even WhatsApp na copy the link and then spread it on your WhatsApp groups.
That's right.
You might not see the person be out of share abwana but what share na eboni pakona nyame especially bia ka obusuan ti lawyer nyame sha pa the mekan with us nyame sha for we this ka we be ala if you like you reference my we
okay you do the account by all means yeah that was a pass so be shama among for so idea etimi etie where there was you also be saving lives bye for that aha ti ye twen also betimi afre Mr. Owusu ono so afre agene de na amanfo o kasa na amanfo so ababi gu so pa anti no usu betimi idea usu ubetimi afre anti by all means ye gu so e wa ha okay yan fade on so afre. Hello, you are live on Facebook. Hello.
Hello, lawyer.
Good morning. Oh, good afternoon.
Boss lady.
Hey, boss lady. That is a Bibia Boko.
My friend of mine was saying a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. Aye, and I'm quite sober. Why? And I'm quite. Who's a wedding can you be? Ain't you know? Omo muni bi, omo munya bi no. Nanka ye diwe na ma wo mo. Why? And two dia no sabekan this week. Why? Yeah, that's it.
Happy birthday.
Aye, thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, also ubetimi afre say yenya enipa 2 omudin be ko raffle box ni mu. Say one frɛ a ene dwuma no ye de beba na wie ye enche bia na omumienu no omudin ekom 50-50 e dia ba ko na be wie ni obeso obusa question a usu ubetimi ayede usu betimi afre na wabusa question will be immigration and nationality law and family law. Usu ubetimi afre say employment impona u face redundancy or anything of that nature, then by all means usu ubetimi ayede usu ubetimi afre ama program no with my friend Obusa or questioner Obese Ubusa. And yes, idea nipa 2 no. One of them is going to get this blood pressure machine and courtesy of Paradise City or say yemfama yetie for obia oberene. And you know that is how it is. Okay, ti ye twen yemfa nyumwe in femna fe no. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, lawyer.
Now, Patrick is saying.
Patrick, no,
Now, Patrick Dini is saying.
Dini Bismarck, Cafe Redding.
Bismarck Redding. You thought we didn't can listen anyway. Now, and every.
Oh, and every day, your friend, Abo Abasho, Jumapa, Uti, de Aboy. Na Yama in the Aban, so fish upper. Nayada, Mamino. There no so yada na sis ye tie ye be frɛ no na ye ne din komo na ya kwa akɔhwɛ na ya pɛ ba ada chi bi kodu fi a e bi eti betro we de abasobode na me frɛ de ma wo lawyer
one sham yes ye da wase pa du di aka listen e won tie be sa aka se bi bye bye.
Okay, bye.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Pacho Dini say. Nyamini ya wo. Ene nyamini ya wo kwan da wotimi kasa.
Okay. That's we go church. Now, our friends are teaching for that man and very powerful and great. I can say I'm concerned to come. Besides that, no, we share my offer and I'm happy about day. And I'm concerned man again, young son. Nimidie from Kone name, I mean, sure be out here. I mean, for my
Yeda was sippy. Meti Raffo Niemfe Dean come home. Okay, no problem. You do back home. And they say, any part for Nekakosisa, I can't win. And you know, also bet me afraid. So I say the chance to win a raffle. And I said, well, question up so busa. osu betimi afre ene ye ba ya kan naturalization ho asem akwan abefa so abe apply ya ka character testing ho asem ya kan bibi so about family law and as a child law, the types of application are ubetimiaye. There is so much going on in this country. Whenever there's a relationship breakdown, people don't want to see sense and strike a deal with each other and compromise for the sake of the children. And also, so na ehube here, as a relationship there, it is a contract. Contract, no, inyako wrong pe na chese afi no adane fight. But ayana ehu here, sir. The here ne say ubenya akumapa. Na wadwene se me bada achinti ede na eseme enu na ese yina no eye bibia ye se de kɔ adwendwene mu enti nyame ne wo ho ye da wase pi enti no
just a quick one
sure.
Well, for instance, bia we prefer we because my grandfather baby something here no me in poems or taking this here now see well for instance so we are indefinite na 2 years a year. Now, so we indefinite, so prefer when I try to send our kind. Maybe I know, maybe I will see the Kakana, so I could school from her. On a person, sure say, because my catcher, but still no person will anyway. Nancy say, be a bit me about a camera. Say, well, could school her now, watch another way in vision on so doing yet, but we say, the life in the UK, no, no. I catch him, but no person with teeth. And say, yes,
Walusham, life in the UK, Nidia, whether you have a degree or you don't have a degree, you have to write it. English test, no, who degree, you'll be exempted from the English test requirement. Why?
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Now it's 20. All right, until that's
okay. Bye.
I'm sure this weekend now. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, lawyer.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Nampachowane ekase.
What's Simon ekase? Ghana.
Hey, what the Vimpana Afresa no? Okay, Simon Ghana, Simon Owusu.
What I am?
AKA Adonko, that's right. Now, Bibia Boko there.
I'm not a lawyer.
Okay, now, and meaning so there, every Saturday, beer, what the Tuano?
Okay, lawyer.
That was it. Now, and every
may say me,
oh, thank you very much. Oti mopa.
What's the machine? Question of the time, said, most take care of the door for me. And I don't say any systemic.
So can be
Titanic.
And I do from the essay.
Titanic.
Okay, you be funny, sir. Why are the watcher, and you know, so the what the kind of blood pressure machine if that in the we post to others may post to a brand and Bimbo Biama, one of those. And to the you have one in a bucket. Why in Tino and your big deal.
Thank you, lawyer.
And that's it. And Timon take care. Why? You're Chagana for you now. Okay, bye. Okay, no be so friendly and tea in the panel. Obi a when you be that day, not just say the movie before so online. Na yetimi akoye nim. Enti ego so yemfa last caller na afi yemfa dwumadie no enye de emra na wieye. Patro do frɛ no obetimi asai afrɛ biem why enti no srepi na ye de one life na edi dwuma no. Enti no edu ba bia na aye live bi kakra but mo fa nche enye hwe. Oso betimi afrɛ yegida so ewa hanom ene ya kan sempi about British nationality applications, how to become a British citizen by virtue of Section 61 and 60 of British Nationality Act. Sasana, the number of applications that you can make in relation to child law. If you are facing any of these problems, Justice and Law, you can give us a call and we'll be able to assist you. We have also talked about the need to apply for biometric residency card under the settlement scheme. And also so ubetimi idea ubetimi I get in touch by all means. And you know you go say call you take last caller na ye di dwumadie no idea aba na wie yeah. Okay, I said more. Okay, yes, not a problem. And you know say obi enyam Friday a ene me sha se na rafo no Yenya ni sesi another baby ni yimpusu nkoma no na on yentimi in save lives very very important. I say you being ever check your blood pressure because you never know. People are dying needlessly. You know, sebio and if they were aware, ABM committee about it. It's just unfortunate that it's something that we hardly talk about, but it's important that now we do talk about it to save lives. Anti-blood pressure. Ceremony triano, a dino, a 4, nipa 4 na an echo raffle nivo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know, your bayana, fino, you choose baku in random. A diagua. Aha. Near choose one in random. Do berin and not just say the amano. To be even near free, not just say, may choose one, just like that. Into the referee be an alpha. Okay, baku ava. Into the, it may be, now you show who it is. Na ye di amano sana echo. Okay, ye shay. Any. Whiny. Any poor winnie a Bismarck from Reading. Onona awene. And this week echo Reading. Raffle no blood pressure machine no echo Reading. Yeda masipi. And ene ye di jumadi ni ba de wie ene adaje ni poso echo kobotu. Enti ese mede dwumadie no eba na wie yeda mase ese mache madaje na modi ati dwumadie na yede bremo no next week nyame ya adoma yebesan ayede yebesan ababiem enti no sa opese of framing na ene de enye possible because as soon as I done with the program we are going out to chill a bit it's been 17 years and I was and then spending time with my girl obi kan me wo eja na oba ne honhon konkono me ma me ne eja me wife ne oba ana me ba eye honhon konkono enti the 3 women in my life enti no sana etie enti no yeda masipi esene modi dwumadi na atoa na motie de yede abremo nyame enka mo ho na onye mo kese onye mo kukuruku yeda maso yeda makoma so nyina onye emamo na emremu. I will say shalom ye wo nyame a ontonko ana waede ana wada enti no yede nyame ase mo nyina mo mutimi be hye me ba happy birthday nyina no nyame enhira enti adamu ase yesu nyame so ayensum ni na ebe enhira ama ye nyina
such a Budapa. I don't have me Baba physical. So I'm consider bad. I don't have it with any bad. Personal colonel was so free to Mowanka. Siga Samini Chapuli, yeah, free to Moamba. To Moambo. I will put on the test for that part. I can was a 9 men catch. Chapuli was school super. Now so my message to my body. Say, I'm a summer bad. I yell to me. I be say, Unia. Baby, so I'm a summer bad. I yell to me. Why me young can I say my money? I'm a summer bad. I yell to me. I would have from when to my venture. I'm a summer bad. I yell to me. I'm not a fool. I know that she is. I see. Cabos of Wow. So ya welcome to Islam on the Bible. No coffee, what the other one. I'm share. If you Christian, if you Muslim, if you careful, if you soft, if you comfort. As a session project, one or share one year. If you put money in Suda, if you are so a bad man, the intellectual pardon you that son or more pass mark. For money we will share blood. Yami Bayer or Bechel you too. Fast.